This is for the players.
I'm Ryan Benson.
I'm Josh Saunders.
And this is our review of Concrete Genie. It's a big thank you to PlayStation Australia providing us the code for Concrete Genie. Now, Josh, you have no idea what Concrete Genie is.
Correct.
Cool.
So when you say our review, you're essentially meaning your review. As I spitball
ours,
questions at you.
the channel, the pair of us, collective. Like, you know, you review Destiny. We review Destiny, apparently. So Concrete Genie is the latest PlayStation exclusive. It comes from one of the Worldwide Studios, PixelOpus, who haven't really done a whole lot. One of the other things of note was the game Entwined that Shadow dropped at E3 a couple years ago. It was one of like the dragon and
I know that
thingy.
game.
Yep. So that game was, you know, well relish received. Wasn't a whole lot to it, but Concrete Genie is a massive improvement in terms of it's a big full 3D open world, and it's it's kind of big change compared to what they've done in the past.
What do you do in this 3D open world?
So
is it open world?
Oh, it's just like regionally. We'll get to that.
Okay, all right.
So you play as a character named Ash in this town called Denska.
Ketchum?
No, sadly not.
Catsup.
So yeah, you're in Denska, this little fishing town that's sort of been engulfed by this darkness, this ooze, this thing that's kind of really brought the town down. So you are the victim of a number of bullies that are your main antagonists within the game.
Oh man,
they kind of give you a bit of grief throughout, but
are they actually bullies, or are they like darkness infected people that are just
bullies.
mean?
Just straight up bullies.
Jerks.
I know.
Yeah. Even when all this shit's going on, they're still like, I'm gonna that kid.
Yeah, fucking
fuck that
dude.
kid.
There is really specific graffiti just to you.
Really?
Yeah, it's real weird. So you as Ash, your way of escaping this horror, this trauma is to draw. So you have your sketchbook, and then within there you draw these little characters, these little creatures, and in a weird turn of events, one of your creatures named Luna comes to life and inhabits one of the locations here, the lighthouse, and then opens this world to where your creations are living entities.
Okay.
So you are then tasked with the idea of bringing the light back to Denska using the power of artwork.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Well, for a game that relies so heavily on artwork, how is it?
It's awesome.
Yeah?
Yeah, no, it's a really good game. So it's about 6 hours is probably the window of time that you're looking at, which I'm a big fan of these days. I like those smaller, shorter experiences. So the predominantly a lot of the game is very action light, like there is almost none. There is a section where it does get a little bit action heavy, but for a lot of the time it's avoid confrontation and it's all about making cool art on walls. So in the way that you make the art on the walls, it's not as if you're given free reign to do whatever. You are given a series of stencils, or pages as they're referred to in this game, and as you explore the world you find more of these pages to add to your repertoire of painting. So you go to a wall and you'll add grass and trees and all these other cool stuff around it, and to help you with that you have your creatures, which are called genies. So there's different types of genies. There's like a fire genie, electric genie, and a wind genie. They're all very elemental based, and they will help you transition this world into this new light infused space with all the art. So they'll come to a wall, and if they're near you, they'll be like, they'll just show, and look, they don't really talk, so they kind of like show a thought bubble with an image, and that matches to a corresponding stencil. So they're like, hey, can you put grass here? And then they put grass, and it's very cool. So although you are using the stencils, the game never really delivers bad art. It's built in such a way that no matter what you do, it still looks pretty cool. Yeah. It's very nice.
Unlike real life.
But if you're like, hey, can you draw on this wall? And it's like, it's a stick figure.
Yeah. I'm going to draw a tree. And then you're like, what do
that
trees...
That is not a tree.
What do trees look like again? It's all the intricacies that you don't remember.
Yeah, so and because of the overwhelming darkness that's infused, which is this interesting kind of
Is it a physical thing or a mood?
It is a physical thing, but it is a subtext for for a mood. The whole idea is with these bullies, it's this situation of the darkness is engulfing, but it's also feeding it. It's that whole idea of negative cycle, as in if you live negatively and you think negatively, you just forever be negative. It's like the idea.
Oh, is that what it is?
Yeah.
Shit.
Oh no, sorry to bust.
I should play.
Yeah.
It sounds like I need an eye opener. I should play this game.
Yeah. So with the character being Luna, being in the light, it's all about transition. And on the nose, Luna lives in a lighthouse. So then that lighthouse is all about bringing the light to the town.
Right. So, what are the fail states then for this? Like how, you're just painting on walls and stuff like that. Like how?
Yeah. So
what's the threat to you directly?
There
being
isn't
caught
really.
by some
It's being caught by the bullies, but even then, like what they'll do is they'll take your little paintbrush one thing and just peg it on a roof, and you've got to go get it.
Okay.
Like there's no like
They
lives.
don't just brutally beat the shit out of you, leave you in a corner.
Break the. They're like So it is. Yeah, it's not really complicated in that sense. It's very simple. There's no lives, so if you fall in the water or you don't make a jump, you just respawn back to where you were. So there's no big fail, as you mentioned. It is most around that creative process. And later when the action stuff does get involved, you do have a life bar, but even if you end, it just reboots you back to where you were.
Okay. Yeah.
But it is primarily essentially just a collectible platformer, really. So you go around collecting things and decorating walls and getting X amount of lights or X amount of pages.
So are you kind of going through the town section by section to kind of bring it back?
Yeah, so there are 5 sections if you include the lighthouse. A couple of them have different levels to them. So like an example is the waterways. There's multiple levels within the waterways. But they're very kind of located that way, which is nice. So it's all about clearing this one location, moving to the next one, clearing it, moving to the next one, clearing it on top of that.
Linear in that way.
It is very linear. You can't, because they're all kind of sectioned off, so you can't get to the next one until you complete the first one. So 100% linear. It's not like as in pathway linear. You do have free roam around that little
district,
that little Fopen district, Fopen world, kind of holding you in.
Yeah.
Once you tick off all the boxes, you then move along. The puzzles are fun because when you do have the genies on the wall, right, you need to get it over here to assist with burning this thing or lightening this power box. But because they can only get to you by the wall, you have to help them get from A to B. Because if they can only do that wall needs to touch that wall for them to get across. So sometimes you might have to bring a box down, and they get the box, and you move the box, and very cool.
Okay, but can they only kind of go where you've painted?
No.
Thing,
so that is certainly true. There are parts to the game where they can't get to, where the darkness has kind of overtaken off that wall, and with their assistance, you're able to deliver this super paint that clears off that crap. So other than that, they do have free roam on any wall as long as that super painty stuff isn't there.
What's the general mood? Is it kind of somber or is it hopeful? You know what I mean? Is it you know what I mean? What's the ambience? Is it are you feeling like melancholic as you're playing it?
Yeah,
bittersweet.
Yeah, melancholy is probably the word I was kind of thinking of the most. Like, as you progress, you learn more about the bullies and the whole idea of the situations that lead them to be buttholes.
Okay.
So you got this weird sense of like sadness and somber from the whole setting because everything is dark.
Mm-hmm.
But as you sort of make it nice, prettier and nicer, the characters seem to grow and you gain a connection with the likes of Luna and your genies because the genies are. You get to custom make them. They'll give you a series of small, as similar to the stencil idea. Like you create the body and then you give them random assorted shit.
Okay, so your genies.
You have an investment because like the genies that I have will never be like anybody else's genies, and that part I really enjoyed.
Mm-hmm.
The gameplay's tight. It runs at a very smooth 60. I only had to chug once, maybe twice, and I was right in the final cutscenes. It's the one thing that I would want to get the game for is just reflections, man. Because obviously it's a fishing town, a lot of water everywhere, and those reflections are 1-on-1. Okay. Like none of this blurry kind of obscured water reflection. Like it is tidy, like 1-for-1. You look at it, and that's what it is.
So if you paint on a wall,
it mirrors in the thing, like in real time.
Yeah. That's cool.
Because the game isn't too demanding, they've been able to go interestingly with the power behind it, use the power of the PS4 to do that.
Yeah.
Because stylistically, it's relatively simple. It's kind of in a good way. There's not a lot of facial animations. The facial animation is almost stop motiony, but everything else moves in like a regular speed. So by shifting the power elsewhere, not having big combat based mechanics, they're able to focus heavily on how it looks. And I understand with the artistic side, it's stylistically very important.
Trophies?
Oh, super easy.
Yeah?
Easy plat? I'm at 80% right now, and I got about 70% just from playing the campaign.
Okay.
So right now I'm just...
So when you're done, you can go back in.
Of course you can, yeah. So there's no missable trophies, which is cool. So right now I'm just doing the last of the collectibles. But without, because this is pre-release, there's a couple that I just can't find, and it's irking me.
You got no wiki to look at?
And I've got no wiki to look at, because I'm so close. I was hoping to have the platinum before release. That'd be really cool, because I haven't done that in a while. But yeah, I was like, I'm just so super stuck, and I can't get past it, and it's aggravating me.
Price?
It's cheaper, so it's not a full price game. I think it's like your 60s or whatever. I might pull that up, but yeah, so I think they do know that it's not going to be an overwhelming success, I presume, just because of its uniqueness. But it will
$39.95 at EB.
$40.
Yeah,
tight, even better. Well, yeah, but for $40, it is probably a must buy if you like PlayStation stuff. The one thing that I did do though, because it is an exclusive, does have some PlayStation-y thingies within it, like motion controls is really huge. When you paint the wall, you use my controls. I turn that off straight away because I have a child, so he comes and bumps me all the time. I was like, Rick!
You've ruined it.
Yeah, so I just focused on the stick. Saying that though,
he's painting one day and you go
demonstrating the ease of the game. My son James came and sat with me and watched it, and he took the controller from me, and he was able to move around. And credit to him for being nearly 3 and knowing how to do dual sticks. But it worked, and there was no complications. The game is simple enough in premise that he could walk around in a space and not have a problem. And he's 3.
Yeah. Very cool.
Yeah. No, the game is surprisingly good. Like my attention towards it was purely that it is a PlayStation exclusive. Like I remember hearing about it, that's about as much thought as I put into it. It
was in a State of Play trailer drop or something, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. Yeah, so a friend of the show, Joel from Anagame, he went hands-on with it a little bit earlier in the year as well. He said some good things about it, but because we've never had hands-on with it, we never really focused on it. It hasn't been playable or seeable in any of the conventions here. It was just kind of vaguely within my radar. And then getting into it, like it certainly has this unique charm to it, and that comes from its unique aesthetic, which is not really anywhere else, which I really, really like. In terms of fault, I guess probably the simplicity of the paintings, but I say that in that it'd be cool to do more, but by keeping it very structured and very stencil based, you can still deliver good stuff without breaking the rules of the game.
Yeah. Too much freedom can be a bad thing.
I agree. I very much agree. I'm trying to think what else, because I got nothing but praise for it, really.
I've got no other questions.
Yeah, it's really, really good. And now that it's $40, it's even better. Like I do, I know this has been in development for a while. I remember it's being thrown around for a long time, so I'm glad it's finally out, and it's good to see that, because there's always this discussion about PlayStation and them being very
first party.
In terms of their first parties are supposed to be something like it's supposed to be Uncharted, it's supposed to be God of War now, it's supposed to be Horizon. That's what they're looking at. Where this is
third-person action games.
Yeah, third-person action games. Well, this is a departure from that. This is a slightly higher budget indie, is what it feels like. It's got the backing of a Worldwide Studio, so it looks good and it plays really, really well. But you can tell it's an indie game in its core. Because when it comes to indie games, they have that ability to push a different boundary, or because they have that freedom, or not being super reliant on having success and meeting those AAA standards, they can push in different mechanics that no one's ever seen before. And this is kind of that. Now, this game also does have a PSVR support. At time of recording, I haven't done it. We'll be streaming it probably in the near future. Get our good friend Max to come in because he's the VR guy. I'll get him to do it, and I'll probably sit here and talk shit.
Yeah.
But yeah, so like in the VR mode, I reckon that would be absolutely fantastic. Like the wands, the brightness, the color, it'll be absolutely cool. Awesome, super awesome.
Cool. Big thumbs up.
Big thumbs up from me.
2.
Yeah, we'll give it 2 thumbs up.
We'll make it 4.
Or 2 Kurt Angles, as we say on Young and the Wrestlers. No, I really, really enjoyed it. Like it's certainly not for everybody. I don't see this being a gangbuster success, but that's just me being pessimistic. Like it may be.
You got to give more credit to the gaming community sometimes.
I agree. Yeah, I think some people might just need this. Like it's very, very cool, very chill. And the price point is perfect for the length of time that it is. It's almost like they know. Like they're like, hey, this isn't God of War. This is something lower down. It's on a studio that people probably forgot that we owned.
Yeah.
So it is a nice little mid-tier. And yeah, and it's an easy plat if you want to push that too.
Weird.
Yeah, excellent. If you have any thoughts or questions about the Concrete Genie, chuck them in those comments below. I will endeavor to answer as many, if not all of them, as possible. I'm pretty confident the Concrete Genie will be at PAX Australia as well, which is coming up this weekend, time of recording.
Cool.
Maybe get your hands on there before you even check it out with your dollary dues. So big thank you once again to PlayStation Australia for providing the code for me to play this bad boy. It was well and good. I really enjoyed it. But until the next one, I'm Ryan Betson.
I'm Josh Saunders.
And that was our review of Concrete Genie.
4 Kurt Angles.
4 Kurt Angles. Oh, 4 Kurt Angles.
Yeah.
Whey! For the players, the PopCulturists PlayStation podcast is fan-supported at patreon.com/thepopculturists. And we'd like to thank our Patreon producers and our Patreon founders for their kindness, their support, and their generosity. Our Patreon founders: Alpha Ferret, Craig O'Flaherty, David Chataway, Jesse Stevenson, and Jacob Garner. And our Patreon producers: AJ Abatomi, Damien Holdies, Kyle Dunn, Lee Wintershoven, Nathan Massetti, Paul James, Pure Mongrel, and Sean Levitt.